Hey guys,
What's up?
what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Zapp Comics Radio Podcast. Excited about this one. It's going to be fun.
Nice.
One of my favorite stories. I'm joined after Jonny cleared his throat there. Dr. Jonny Knoll.
Hi.
How are you? And Joe Watt.
What's up, fam?
What's up, kiddo?
What's going on?
Joe Watt is, I'm excited because I'm not sure if you follow us on Facebook or Twitter or I've been in the store, but we are doing Zapp Comic-Con in March, and Joe Watt is our event coordinator for that.
Ooh,
So
nice.
not only did he do the theme song to this, which I love, and it's very catchy, people do sing in the store randomly. That's cool.
No one does that.
No, they do. Mostly Tom, but they do it.
Yeah, great.
So Joe Watt is actually heading the Zapp Comics.
Pleasure.
Comic-Con,
It's gonna be a good time.
Thank you very much, bud.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
You
So
got
it's
it.
gonna be cool.
March 18th, 2017.
That's right.
Sorry.
That's okay. Okay, we're going to be going into Civil War, which I love. I remember when the story came out. This came out right when I started working here. It was like there was a big delay between issues 6 and 7, and I remember putting 7 on the shelf. So I'm not sure if I was here when 6 was here or before, but I remember this is when I just started coming in, like working here part time, and of course I'm part owner now. But it's cool because this was.
Of course, it's part
No. It's neat because I think of how long ago that was. I was just like here, part time, getting some extra cash, and that's cool. But did you guys see the trailer for Killing Joke?
Awesome.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Skipping topic hardcore there. Huh?
No, I had to mention it because that was so cool.
Brutal. I think that deserves the word brutal.
It looks just like the book, and I know they were supposed to wait until July at Comic-Con to release it. I don't know if this is true, but there's rumblings that they're gonna put it out with Batman vs Superman DVD at the same time, so people buy them together.
Oh, wow.
Okay, yeah.
Because Batman vs Superman isn't doing as well as they had hoped.
Mm-hmm.
So
Really?
that's the room. No, it's not doing good at all.
Oh.
They're losing. Well, not losing money, but it's not.
Yeah.
Man of Steel made them more money than the movie. Than this movie because all the
Wow.
production into it. So it's a little disappointing on that end. So I think, but I don't know if it's true, but that's what the whole thing is. I honestly think it's because Civil War is coming out. They want to take away some of that by putting the trailer of Killing Joke out. But it looks phenomenal. I cannot wait for it. So go back to Civil War. I remember when it was coming out, it was like, oh, it's another Marvel event. Here we go again. Issue 1 came out. Nobody really paid attention to it. And then by the time I think 2 and 3 really hit, the book just exploded. And it was like the top of the thing. And this is back when, after an event happened, it affected every single book. In the, every book you read had a downfall, or, it trickled into all the books with the initiative and all that stuff like that. If you don't know what Civil War is, it's very simple. It's basically they want to register the heroes because they're out of hand. Like they're free roam. They don't have any accountability.
Well,
they can destroy a city and walk away. And nobody who they have too much power.
well, yeah. Well, it kind of like they started up. There was a bunch of different things going on in the Marvel universe, but the big thing was what is it? I can't remember the name of the team.
New Warriors.
New Warriors.
Yes, and they were doing a reality show,
And they
and they were in Connecticut.
They would pick on B villains.
Yeah, but they were not even. They said because they finally got like a group of villains, but they only picked up like pickpockets and stuff like that, and they attacked him at a house. And one of them was Nitro, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna explode." He exploded and destroyed like a school, and
Yeah,
600 people died.
No, I think it was more than 600.
I think
He took like a whole city block out.
No, yeah, well, it was a school, but it was like 600 people.
I think 600 children. I forget what, but he killed a lot. And they're like, whoa, this is.
So then they're
stop.
Mhm.
So a lot of the guys turned themselves in, and a lot of the guys is like, no, this is how it works. As far as no, it's not the American way, or this is against our rights to register. And of course, you had one side with Captain America, and then the other side with Iron Man. I think in the movie though, they're reversing the roles.
No.
Isn't Iron Man the one that's anti?
Oh no.
no, I don't think so. 'Cause I think
they can't do that. Come on.
because we really don't know. Because I think
No, but I think
part of
in the movie it's Iron Man because of his armors. They wanted to take all his armors. Like they want to.
What?
I don't know. I'm trying not to look too much into the movie. I want to be somewhat surprised by it.
I want to still hope that Cap is the
I
one
could
that doesn't want him to register.
I could be wrong.
See, I don't think it's totally part of that because I think it's all about protecting Bucky.
Okay.
Or because I think they want him to be for his sins too.
But what side is Bucky on in the movie?
Well, I think
Is he
he's
on
with
Cap's
Cap.
side?
He's in with
Yeah.
Cap.
Oh,
Yeah.
so then Cap is he's
like
going to go away.
the
So
outside
it's just like
side,
the
yeah.
movie then. It's a book.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
See, I don't know if it, like you said, like if it's gonna go.
No, I'm not really. I see the trailer. I'm not really reading into the movie, so.
Me neither, but like I think it's not totally going with that like having to register and stuff. I mean, I think there's part of it like they show the prison and stuff, but I think part of it, again, it goes with that Bucky thing about like I think Cap's trying to keep him say, hey, this wasn't him, this was whatever, brainwashed, whatever, and I think they're like, well, no, he has to answer for these things that he did and everything like that, and then there's Spider-Man.
Turn that on. Just hit the switch. Yeah, so it's like, and a lot of people are like, oh, the trailers are showing too much. They keep showing too many.
Yeah, they're trying to get everybody interested because there's a lot to digest in this one.
Not just that, and I always try to look at it from an outsider.
Okay.
We obviously know everything about it. We all know everything about it. But first off, it's not an Avenger movie. It's Captain America. Okay? So they have to sell it as an Avenger movie, which they are. Two, if you're just like a casual, I like the Marvel movies, they're kind of fun. You don't know what Civil War is.
Yeah.
So they have to show you Spider-Man. They have to show you Ant-Man interaction. You just can't see them fight. Like, it just looks like another movie. That's why they're putting out all these little new TV spots, new trailers. It's in your face because they want you to be so amped up for it.
Mm.
And Deadpool did it perfectly, obviously. But that's why I try telling people like, oh, they're showing too much. Yeah, to us. They're not showing too much to somebody else.
Exactly.
Because you got to sell it. You got to sell it to like my parents. You got to sell it to my uncle. You know what I mean? Like, who was? Is that funny?
No, I'm just saying. Just that you said like, wow, I got to sell it to my uncle, bro.
That's funny. Too,
I don't know.
Is this a comedy hour? Anything else? Huh? We have a very serious discussion here about movie making, and we get a clown in the room.
Unreal. I'm sure your uncle's very nice, man.
Just kidding. But you know what I mean, though.
I know.
With that also too.
If your uncle doesn't want to see it, that's fine.
Unreal.
They also have to sell it because of the Civil War thing. I don't know. You probably got the same thing. How many people came up to me as a comic fan that said, "Well, why with Superman and Batman? Why are Superman,
who wins?"
Well, no. Why are Superman and Batman fighting? They're both heroes. They're friends. Why are they fighting? And like you try to explain what's going on. It's the same thing with this because people are going to be like, they're heroes. Why are they fighting?
But I'm not even not to bash DC, but people are going to understand Civil War more because they're kind of fighting in the other movies. Like they're disagreeing a little bit. So you kind of figure it out. Batman and Superman is just like, why are they fighting? Because Batman and Superman have never been in a movie together, and all of a sudden they're fighting. Like,
but that's why they're putting in the trailer. I mean, you see them more head to head, saying, okay, this is what's going on, so they don't go in completely like, well, this doesn't make sense.
Like when you say we used to be friends, so that type of stuff. So, I'm amped for it. I mean, if you haven't read the book yet, it's you can just read the trade. You don't have to read all the offshoots of it. And I'm so glad Spider-Man's in it because he is a major part of the story. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be as effective in the movie as he was in the book because the whole secret of anything, I don't think anybody cares anymore because that's over. Especially when once in Iron Man 1, he's like, yeah, I'm Iron Man.
Yeah.
But in the book, obviously, and if you haven't read the book yet, we're going to spoil this, so, I don't know why you're listening.
Stop now.
Unless your uncle hasn't heard it yet. But Spider-Man, the biggest thing was he revealed his identity. That's what he did. And because they were like, well, Fantastic Four, everybody knows who they are, and of course it bit him in the butt, and then he switched sides. But so that was a big deal. So Spider-Man being able to be in this movie changes the game because one, it opened up that bridge, and Sony sees the potential in it, and Sony is basically licensing a Marvel character back to Marvel. Because Marvel's going to make the movie and put it out, and Sony's name's on it, and Sony's going to get a big fat check for doing nothing. It's the same way you license a character out, whether it's Star Wars or whatever, and you get Sony is basically getting money from Marvel for a Marvel property, which is amazing. So when they do the Spider-Man movie, Iron Man's going to be in it, and the fact that everybody's always like, oh, Spider-Man's not top dog anymore, because you have Wolverine, you had Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, all these guys. Now, in the Spider-Man movies kind of got forgotten because nobody really cared for the Amazing Spider-Mans. Now you got a Spider-Man, he's young, and when Spider-Man Homecoming comes out, that could change the entire game. It's huge because Spider-Man is the most recognizable, aside from Batman and Superman and Batman. Spider-Man is the most recognizable character there is.
For sure.
And he's lost a lot of steam because of that. And Marvel, that's their flagship character, and it's one of those things where it didn't help them with the movies because it wasn't being used through them. So like they're gonna push. That's why they were pushing other characters more in the books. So now Spidey's gonna be back on top where he belongs.
I'm glad that Mom and Dad are playing nice together at the top. That way the kids can watch Spider-Man play together with the Avengers, It's
Listen,
nice.
They made a Hobbit movie. There was 3 studios involved in that, and that's why Hobbit came out well after Lord of the Rings. So if that can work, this can work.
Gotta work.
And I wouldn't be surprised if, after all the dust settles, if Fox doesn't get involved and if they make a Spider-Man Deadpool movie, forget about it. Forget about
imagine?
Forget about it because.
But I can't take my kids to go see it though. It's supposed to be able to take your kids to see Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't think that's the one. I think that's going to be tough.
But I don't think it wouldn't need to be R because it's Spider-Man's in it. Deadpool. I think they needed to make it R. I mean, I know I had said earlier in the when we first did our podcast that I didn't think our movie would work. They did it correctly and it worked.
It worked.
And but they wouldn't need to make a Spider-Man Deadpool movie R. They don't need to because the character's already been established. You can just have it funny as hell. You can have it like raunchy and funny, but it doesn't need to be like generally, they can push it, but they don't have to like really, really push it,
I'm glad that the new Batman animated is R. That's probably the first animated, right? Too. It's R.
Because there's no.
That opens the doors a little bit, with a little more breathing room for other things to become comic books that were a little too gritty,
Because it's not going to be shown in the afternoon on Cartoon Network.
No.
So in order for it to be done correctly, you cannot take things out of it. And that's why Deadpool wasn't released in some countries because there's no way to edit that movie. So you can't do that with Killing Joke. Like you cannot take away the most important scene of that movie.
You get shot in the spine.
In
Spoilers.
the carnival ride. You can't take that out of the movie because then people's like it's not even that good of it doesn't make any sense. So you have to do that and this is going to open up the door for everything because the Disney is really, and it's almost becoming a monopoly. They're really taking hold of the movie game because obviously they have the Marvel stuff, they have the Star Wars stuff, and they also have their own stuff. I saw the Jungle Book. It was amazing.
Awesome.
And they're going to take every one of their animated franchises and make them into live action movies like this. You watch 10 years from now, they're gonna do like a Lion King, and it's gonna open up a whole new door, and they're just gonna destroy everybody because these movies are already there, these stories are already there, and you just show it to a whole new audience. Forget about it. It's over.
Forget about it.
Think about it. They have May, so they took summer. Star Wars in December. They squished that. All these other movies move away from this.
Scared.
And it's all one big thing. And this, like I said, this isn't an Avenger movie. So this is big. They're saying it's going to do like a 190, maybe 200 opening weekend. That's major.
Can we talk about these movies and their like projected ensemble casts now? Like every single one of these movies is going to have like at least 20 characters, even if they're only in it for a few seconds. But every single one of these movies it's like domino effect. Every single one has to have more.
Yeah,
well, because we've introduced
that's
more,
why I think in the Infinity War, whatever they're going to do.
How are they even going to pull that off?
I think there's going to be a lot of characters going to die or go away because Phase 4. Things gonna be all fresh because the problem is these guys are getting paid a lot of money now, and they obviously have to watch the budget. So a lot of these guys are either gonna step down or, like I said, die or pass down the torch to another character. So Phase 4, I think is gonna be completely different. It's gonna be completely fresh and new. Because you figure Iron Man 1 came out with 07, 08. It's almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was.
That was a long time ago. Think of all that's happened. It's a big deal.
So what could you project? Do you think we might see at Phase 4?
Phase 4, if they do get FF back, which I think they will. See, everybody's all upset that they kind of squashed Inhumans. Inhumans works with Fantastic Four. If you get Fantastic Four in there,
you think they'll do that again, Fantastic Four?
Yeah, because you know why? Because they're gonna right the ship. It's
That's
the first.
tough.
It's
It's
the first family, and you know what? You don't have to have it focused just on them because everybody else is there.
Yeah.
So you can be in space. You can have a whole space adventure.
You bring you have them. You bring in Silver Surfer. You bring in Galactus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And actually do them correctly.
Correctly, which they can. If they listen, they're gonna pull off Thanos. When all said and done, Galactus is a lot easier to pull off than Thanos. Right. Thanos is a very complex character to explain to somebody. Galactus is very easy. He's a world leader.
Planets, yeah.
to save the Earth, and surfers is Harold. So that's very easy to do. So I think when it's all said and done, like when we're older, it's gonna be like, I can't believe all this stuff made it like this, because we had nothing for so long, and the fact that the Civil War II is coming out, obviously in book form, and people already complaining. But I'm like, you know what? Everything. What do you think's going to happen? Secret Wars was very, very successful. They made Secret Wars 2. Was it good? No, but everybody bought it. Civil War is good. They're going to make it. Civil War 2, it might be good. You don't know. People do fight again.
They do. Do you think that maybe the end of like Infinity War or stuff like that would be like the death of Captain America, something like that? And then someone else is the lead Marvel character, and then Phase 4?
Cap's an easy character because you can just pass the torch, whether he dies or not. You can just have him lose his serum, until he just becomes old. Well, which I think they would do rather than kill him.
Yeah.
But they can, there's been more than one Iron Man, And the other thing is the beauty of it is now you can have female leads.
That's great.
And minority leads, which is awesome. So, look at the Star Wars films. Rey was the main character in Force Awakens, and now Rogue One has, the girl, one of the main characters. This is awesome that they're doing this. So you're going to have all these, look at Black Panther. When the Black Panther movie comes out, he's the coolest thing in all those trailers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool to see Spider-Man, but seeing Black Panther, I can't wait to see him. So you get all these characters that are going to get light, and it's going to be, the world's it's a very diverse world. We should have all, and that's why I can't wait for, I can't wait for Doctor Strange. All the stuff that you never, Ant-Man. Did you ever think to make an Ant-Man movie?
Not
and
it
was
great.
Years.
Dude, they announced, and I was so, I haven't smiled like this in so long when they just announced that there's going to be a Wonder Man in friggin' Guardians of the Galaxy 2, man.
It's great.
It's amazing. Wonder Man.
Yeah.
Never thought he'd be in a movie ever,
I know, and it's going to happen.
Well, he's an actor.
Yeah, so I don't know if he's going to be the hero.
Well,
He's going to play, what's his name, Robbie Williams or something? What's Wonder Man's name?
Simon
Simon
Williams. There you go.
Simon.
Yeah.
He's him. So whether he becomes superhero or not, he's going to be in the movie as a character, apparently. But either way, I'm not knocking DC, but Marvel is so far ahead of them. It's not even funny, and yet DC have the more established characters. That they're doing it. Look, all these characters are going to be in these movies, and DC's we're still stuck on Batman and Superman. I'm like, well, just forget about it. Make something else.
Yeah, but those are the workhorses right there.
That's what I'm saying, and it didn't work because they didn't let it work.
Well, because
they put 5 storylines into one movie. They didn't need to do that.
Because they're trying to jumpstart it. They're trying to get to where Marvel is.
But they don't need to.
They need some huge stepping stones because since you said Marvel is so far ahead,
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Think about how big Marvel is, and they just are able to kind of tease you with Spider-Man. They're not using their big hitters.
Yeah.
So when they get Spider-Man, I mean, they might never have the X-Men, but when they get Spider-Man in there, and his Homecoming movie comes out, and then they do get Fantastic Four back, and everybody sees a really legit Doctor Doom, a legit Doctor Doom, who was. Thanos was an afterthought to Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom was always the baddie. Now, obviously Thanos took all. I like Thanos better, but as far as people, it was Doctor Doom was the main bad guy of Marvel, and now he's kind of a laughingstock because his portrayal in the movies was just awful. So now they can reestablish, kind of what they're going to do with Vader, and they're going to make him. They did in the comics. They really make him nasty again because he was so watered down with the prequels. He's supposed to be in Rogue One, and it's not supposed to be a lot, but he's supposed to be brutal. I think he's just going to rip people apart, and they're going to show Vader is the most feared person in this entire galaxy.
Damn.
Not this whiny kid, that killed other kids, in pod races, for a few laps.
You got to make your money somehow.
That's right, bro.
I know. So I'm excited about Civil War. I'm not going to be able to see it opening weekend because Free Comic Book Days and Mother's Day weekend, it's a tough weekend. But I will obviously see this. But the word of mouth on it and the reviews coming in already are very positive. And, I mean, people can nitpick stuff, but I'm excited for it.
I don't complain anymore because, like you said, we didn't have anything for so long, and now there's a mountain. Fine. Keep it going.
Yeah, and you know what? And you know what? The way I look at it, if it's not perfect, which it's never going to be,
it's fine.
Just read the story.
These all at least come off as awesome action movies.
Yeah.
We can look at them like that, even if they weren't they messed this guy's costume up. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You know what? The conversations there. Now you have a conversation. You can have a conversation with basically a regular person about like Rocket Raccoon, Groot, Thanos.
Yep.
You know, like Captain America. Even Captain America, he was never a big character.
Captain America, Iron Man.
Iron Man, like all these guys.
Nobody knew who any of those things were. I mean, if you could say Spider-Man, people knew Spider-Man. And any of those other characters, people were like...
When I was little, I always thought Spider-Man, Batman, and Superman were the same company because they're the only heroes I really knew. And Wonder Woman, I always thought they were the same company. I didn't know Spider-Man was Marvel. I didn't know what Marvel meant.
That's a common thing for people who
That's what I'm saying.
don't read the stuff.
So you think about it. Just say Phase 4. Just say Thor dies, and they bring in Better Ray Bill.
Wow.
You realize how cool that would be?
What a reach, man.
Think about it. How cool would that be? Better Ray Bill, man, that'd be awesome.
Jane Foster Thor.
Jane Foster. You could do Jane Foster Thor.
Better Ray Bill is going to be in the movies.
Think about it. Imagine if that happened. Or like you said, Jane Foster Thor. Didn't they recast her? She's not.
She's not in it.
I don't think it's what's her name.
But
anymore.
yeah, but I don't think they recast her. I think
okay.
she's just they have a new
lead.
But
it's not Jane Foster. It's like a
new girl.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not Jane Foster. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think they said who it was yet. I think they hinted, but.
But I mean, think about it. Like the topic of conversation, and think about all the T-shirts and all the stores have never been busier. As far as it's very mainstream now. I mean, which is fine. You just have to adapt to it. I mean, people don't come in and say, okay, I need to buy all 800 issues of Fantastic Four. No, they want to buy all 10 trades of, Why the Last Man. And
that's a great example.
That's what I'm saying. It's a different crowd, and they want the first appearance of Black Panther. Then you sell it to them, and then, the days are gone. Like, people are different now. Like, I love baseball more than anything. I have a hard time watching the entire game. I can't do it.
Yeah.
But you go to MLB.com in the morning. They have the compressed game. It's like an hour and 10 minutes, and it shows you every pitch, and that's it. And that's NFL, same thing. The next day, it's a 35-minute. They show you every play with every down.
The red zone.
The red zone, yeah, red zone changes my life. You see every single
10 games at once. Man.
You see every scoring play. You know what I mean? So it's because time is so precious now. You can't. I can't sit down and watch it. I have 2 kids. I have a business. We have 2 stores.
I have a business.
We have.
No, I agree with you. I'm saying the way you said it was good, though.
You know what? You just touched me too. This is a problem. So I don't know. Maybe it's because we're sitting down tonight. Is that the problem? You touching me again?
Sitting down. This is the first time. Hey, I want to tell you, there's like.
Oh, I know what it is. You're sitting down. You kind of relaxed.
Yeah.
That's why.
I'm gonna have this button. I'm gonna have to undo it because it's I'm gonna hit you in the face. Now, there's been like 100 billion Zapp podcasts. This is the first one people have sat down, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I sat down once with.
Don't ruin it. This is the first one.
One of the
people
Nick Justice ones. We did it in the morning before we opened.
All right, but this is the second one. That's pretty good.
I believe.
I feel honored.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to do them on my office / studio, but that hasn't even been really fixed yet because I've been so busy and because I haven't been able to get over there to the new house. I have a couple kids.
Yeah, you don't say.
My son's teeth are coming in, so he's
taking up some time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And my daughter's all energy all the time, so.
That's it.
But regardless, what was I even saying before you started being a wife?
Touching you.
I know, touching me.
I just had to touch you, man. I honestly forgot what you were talking about that I chimed
either.
in on.
Oh,
I heard you said something, and I was like, I'll chime in.
I'm talking about how the market's changing. It's very mainstream. Like, I put up a post the other day. Somebody bought a 9.8 Fantastic Four number 52.
Okay.
First appearance of Black Panther. It went for $90,000. Now, listen, that's a lot of money for that book. Because that book, it was never a significant book until like 3 years ago. But that cover is almost entirely black. It is impossible to get a nice copy of that because it shows every mark in the known world. And that's almost right for what that book should go for, a 9.8, because there's probably like only 1 or 2.
90,000?
Yeah, you would think it should be, realistically, if you go by the numbers, like 75,000. Somebody probably got overzealous and paid 90,000. But what I love is people going, what an idiot. It's not worth that. It's like, the guy who paid $90,000 for that book isn't going to sell it. They just want it.
Yeah.
Like the guy who paid $3.2 million for Action Number 1, they don't want to sell it. They're not buying it for an investment.
Yeah,
They're
got
buying
the cash
it because
and
they want it, and they'll overpay for it because they have the money and the funds to do that. So that's why these numbers hit that. These people are not going, I want to buy it and sit on it for 5 years because that's not what they do.
Yeah.
So people need to relax with that.
Tell them, let them know.
I know I had to say that because
chill.
People need to relax.
Tell them chill.
Not everything's an investment. People do this because they like it.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's what kills it.
Yeah.
Is the investment. People who look at it. I mean, that's what happened in the 90s. They looked at it as, well, I can put it and flip it, and look, I'm going to make my money. And when everybody
The
thinks
only thing
that
that's
way,
different now than the 90s is the 90s they were doing with the new books. Now they're doing it with old books.
But there's a lot. There's a lot of books that I would.
No, I know that, but I'm
these
saying with
image
the
books
new
and stuff
books, it was
that-
mostly like back in the day, you'd be like, oh, I'm going to buy all these number ones
Yeah,
and hold
well,
on
yeah.
to them. Now they're buying books that are hot in the show or TV, whatever.
Hot in the show.
Oh my God, Joe. Oh my God.
No, that's another thing. How not only is it dominating, movies now. Everything that the comics is about is dominating TV too.
Oh yeah, you get all the shows and you got channels like pretty soon there's going to be like a channel that's all they show. I mean, and Netflix is going to have half their scheduling is going to be the superhero shows.
Marvel may be whooping DC's butt on the movie game, but I would say DC's got a fair amount of TV shows going on right now, right? Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, Arrow,
Flash.
That's 4.
No, I know, and plus they have
Lucifer.
Lucifer.
What is that supposed to be?
It's on Channel 5.
No, I'm saying it's a comic book.
It was
It's spun out of Sandman.
Yes,
Lucifer?
yeah.
Oh, see, that's Sandman. That's
And they
Neil
got
Gaiman.
They got Preacher.
I missed the boat on him.
They got Preacher.
Preacher's
That's
coming
awesome.
out.
Yeah.
No, I know, and plus their animated stuff's awesome.
Yeah.
The problem is all the money is in the movies. That's what hurts them. Is that the money? The top is a movie.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's just how it is, But they're doing fine, obviously.
So Lucifer is Sandman related? Is that bad that I missed the thing on
No,
Sandman?
I never.
You judge me now or no?
I've judged you a lot. That's how I saw you, dude.
But is that bad that
I see the books you buy every week. I judge you all the time. But
You never read Sandman? Or?
I always saw the covers. It looked so dark and evil. It was just not to my specific thing, so I never really bought one.
Wait a minute! Whoa!
It's very
Wait a second! Hold on a second. It looks too dark and evil.
No. Well, okay.
The first book that brought you in here was Marvel Zombies. Secondly, the books you buy every single week are Walking Dead crossed. You buy every cross book, and you always want the
I buy the filthiest stuff
the
possible.
gore cover of Cross.
That's what I'm saying is that.
So you're scared by Sandman?
Sandman is what I mean. It's dark and weird, and it's like in a different corner than I'm in. It's equal. It's maybe not as brutal as like the Cross stuff. It ain't for me. I don't know. It's not sick enough. That's what I mean to say. Yeah.
I'm like, it's definitely not.
No, I'm not saying. Oh no, I'm not saying that that's comparable to any like Avatar. I'm just saying that it wasn't gross enough for me to say, oh.
Was it good? You read Faust?
That's
Faust?
one of the best. Vigil, Faust.
I didn't say. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying this is. And you're like, oh, Sandman, too dark and evil.
I would put those two guys in the same level of weirdness. It's just that one goes about it in a very demented way, which I like, and then the other one is a little more. I don't want to say dull, but something like that. Duller. I never. Like I said, I maybe opened up like one issue, so I shouldn't speak about Sandman.
I would, get the first one.
Yeah.
See what, yeah.
I'm gonna like it now. Damn.
See, I didn't get it as a series. Like later on, I picked it up in the trade, and I got all of them. It's a good, and it's contained.
Is it?
And like Lucifer, like Lucifer's in it, but it's not like it's spun off it, and then he had a separate series and stuff like that, and it's interesting. I mean, and it's a good
I don't know
story.
how close the show is to the book.
Does the show give it some kind of maybe a step for Sandman becoming its own show, or is it not like that?
I don't think so. Well, they're working on it.
Well,
I think
he left Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
The problem with Sandman is
that would be difficult
you have to do it perfect.
Yeah.
You cannot half-ass it. Sandman has to be done correctly. It's one of those very sacred stories, and Neil Gaiman is so particular and good with like who gets what licensing type of thing. Like he's not going to just give it to somebody. It has to be done right, and if it's not done correctly, it shouldn't be done at all. It's one of those things. You don't touch it.
Every time you say Sandman, immediately I know what you're talking about. The first thing that comes to my head is James Hetfield's face, though. That's the only thing I'm thinking of.
James Hetfield.
In the Black Album has all their faces all blacked out or grayed out, and every time you keep saying Sandman, I'm like visioning a set list and a picture of Hetfield's face. That's how much of a fan I was when I was a kid.
Oh God! What were we supposed to talk about? Civil War.
Civil War was good. Yeah, dude. Oh, this podcast is young anyway. We're just a half hour, man.
Yeah. No, what got me with Civil War was I wasn't too familiar with Mark Millar at the time.
Millar went on to do some cool stuff.
But McNiven's art, man,
He made a couple bucks, I think.
McNiven's art, and then the late Michael Turner did a lot of the variant covers.
Oh, Michael Turner.
Who was awesome, man. Died very, very young. Way too young.
Fathom. It's one of the best.
But he did all the... They're there, right there. But, yeah, the McNiven's art is just amazing. But I think the book was delayed because I don't think he's the fastest artist as far as... which it's worth the wait. But I love his stuff. I really do.
You know, put it out there. I was reading the book, and there was the lady in there that one of the mothers
of
the kids that got killed. And at first she hates Tony Stark, and then that's why he wants to be the registration. She shows up throughout the series, but she so like pushes him so much in this to go that way. Like I read Marvel books, but I don't know if she's actually like a villain. I was talking to Joe about this.
Yeah.
Like, does she show up in something else where she's a villain? Is she a Skrull or something? Because she does. She pushes him so much in that direction that it just seems like something like, you know what I mean?
I always, when I read it, the funny thing about Civil War is I just reread it a few months ago, and I hadn't read it since it first came out, and it was still just as good. But
it's a good read.
That woman that you're talking about, the mother, she reminds me. When I read her, I read in Jaws. The kid that gets the one that smacks Chief Brody, and Chief Brody's like, dude, I'm like, he wanted to say, dude, I'm the one. It wasn't me, but he took it. I can't think of her name.
What is it, Kittering?
Kettering? Yeah.
The Kettering kid?
Yeah, it's like the mother of that got eaten when they went back in the water after they knew there was a shark in there. So that's how I envision her. That's how I picture her, because Jaws is, of course, an awesome movie, but And then the whole thing with the Thor clone, which I don't obviously doesn't make sense now when you read it, and Goliath / Giant Man,
just like
that was, you could tell, like, I just way to do it. But
you know what too, like I
know the thing about this too is Hulk wasn't here because he was on Planet Hulk.
Yeah.
So,
but Scar is there. Unreal.
It's not Scar. That's Hulkling.
Yeah, that's the change
from the Young Avengers. Yeah, Scar wasn't around yet. That's Hulkling from the Young Avengers.
Oh boy,
I
get an F. The inflate role because he infiltrates.
Oh, that's Patriot.
Yeah.
Okay.
As Hank Pym, that's their spy.
Yeah.
But the thing is too, they're burying Goliath, so he's in there. So they have him like wrapped in a tarp, but his face is out. Like I know because they want to show it, but like, could you just wrap him all the way up? Like you did that little piece you couldn't afford to wrap up his face.
No, it's good. I mean, we sell it all the time, especially now with the movie coming out, and we sell tons of these trades. The only one I've ever seen sell like this for Marvel was probably Days of Future Past. That sold really well.
It's a great one.
And Old Man Logan, once the movie got announced, people bought it. Like, because Marvel trades are hard. They're a little pricey, and their stories aren't like trade driven, like, unless it's like Deadpool, but they don't sell like that. We need like stacks of them, and like what DC would with like Watchmen or Killing Joke. But Civil War is it's been last year and a half. It's very consistent, and especially lately.
I really. Oh, go ahead, dude.
No, you were.
I was just gonna say. I remember the first time I read it, like however many years ago. Just like it's such a satire on everything we do in our world. This one, I just remember reading it. I felt almost embarrassed because I'm like, this would happen here to us. We handle it the same exact way. It'd be a complete split. Half the country against half the country. Kind of like recent times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I know. And at the time when this came out, it was like the peak of the reality TV.
Yeah.
And it was past where reality TV, we went from fun to like, okay, we need to make it fun or make it interesting. So they would set things up to, instead of just having cameras on people to see what happened, they were like, okay, we'll put camera on him and then we'll send in the ex, to piss off the new wife type of thing. And that's kind of what they did here. And that was the thing, because people were running around. This is before YouTube really got big and all that stuff like that. It was like, reality TV was like whatever it was like, like feasting on it at the time. So it's not too dated, aside from a couple little things in there. But
do you think, because usually a complaint, even one of my complaints, is usually with Marvel's miniseries like these, usually it starts out strong, and at the end it's kind of as a dud. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, and I, with reading it and stuff, I just don't know, like, I can't figure out, like, because it ends with, well, spoiler.
20-year-old, 15-year-old spoiler. Go ahead.
Like, he gives up. Cap says, what are we doing? The people themselves hate us for doing this, so Cap gives up. and it just ends with that.
Yep.
Like, so I mean, it's a lot of because like the meat of it, like I would think like the death of Cap, but that's a separate storyline. You know, what I mean, it's really, I mean, it spins from this,
Yeah.
but it's not part of the actual story. I mean, is it? You think the ending was strong, or is it was a good ending? Like I'm.
No, it was a little weak. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's I don't know. I didn't feel like it was weak. I felt like how else would it end? I mean, like they're not gonna kill each other.
I'm not,
Well, I mean, he like what I mean, like that. There is that ending. You know what I mean? Like that could have been how it ended. You know what I mean? But it's that, like I said, it's a separate thing. Like it's just he's like, okay, I give up. I mean, which is a good thing. I mean, like,
yeah.
what are you gonna do? But it's not that. It's not like that big ending. You know what I mean?
Like you said, though, it opens so strong. Most of their stories do, and you get so pumped, reading it. And then...
But I think it ended that way mostly because they just wanted to like kind of like they open up the door and it flushed into all the titles, like Avengers Initiative, Death of Captain America.
What is the Iron Man? Director of Shield.
Director of Shield, all that stuff like that, and then of course went into Secret Invasion.
Well, went into when was Dark Reign?
That's
after
Secret Invasion.
Oh, okay.
That was
when
Secret
Invasion came.
Oh yeah, because Norman Osborn was running Thunderbolts.
Or the Avengers.
Yeah, well, the thing in Colorado, and then that's how he got into shooting, and then he got
Yeah, so like it truly affected everything,
Mm-hmm.
and it was, like I said, you got this wonderful Planet Hulk story, which was awesome because if he was there, it'd be a whole different story,
What side would he have been on?
So I guess in the comic book, in the comic, the event that causes the Civil War is that Speedball and the new Warriors, right? And in the movie, you said it was.
Well, I don't know. It seems
partially
like with the Winter Soldier, like
Winter Soldier, and then I think I've gathered that much from one of the trailers that it's from some of the damage the Avengers do in the movie with the Hulk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he just wrecks the whole city, and then
and no one's atoning for it. So
I mean, think about in Age of Ultron when Hulk's fighting Hulkbuster Iron Man. They just
and they're in another country. They just decimate the entire city.
Where was that again? I forget what country. Where were they? Like
I don't remember. I only saw it once. I don't remember where they were. The country might not be there anymore after that.
They leveled it.
But that's what I like about the Marvel Universe because, Daredevil, the crime is so big in that area because of the aftermath of the Avengers, with all the buildings. It's cool that they're making it all connected, in that aspect. I don't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so I'm not sure if that's any good.
That's their only show, right, Marvel?
Well, besides
and what is it, Sharon Carter?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But supposedly, they were saying that, they don't really, because they were talking about, the human stuff and stuff that was going on, and then somebody was on set.
It was very separate.
They're
separate
people
divisions.
at the movie was like, yeah, we don't know we don't care.
Yeah.
So it's it's not really, they're not.
I think they're connected to a point. It's just not they're not okay.
I think
we can't do this because of this.
It goes downhill. I think it's basically okay. You can use it from the movie, but we don't give a crap what you do.
Yeah. And the Fantastic Four in this. I mean, I guess they're not going to be in the movie, obviously. I don't think the movie's going to be as dense as the story obviously can be, and the story's so flooded with characters because every character was affected, and in the movie there's only a certain amount of characters around that they show, which obviously it would be impossible to have all these characters in the movie, but.
It's really, for you people at home who can't see, we're looking at a one-page splash in Civil War that has about 12 or 13 different characters. Those are the payoff moments, that's what I'm pumped to see in Civil War is I want one scene with 15 people on the screen at the same time. Just those, it might only last for 5 minutes of total footage throughout the entire movie, but that is what turns the hairs up on my body.
I heard someone said when they saw the movie a few months back, the airport scene, I guess, is where the major fight is. They said it's one of the best fight scenes you'll ever see.
Can't wait.
Hey, listen, I'm glad this movie didn't come out 20 years ago because I'm sure it would look awful.
Imagine.
So.
Oh man.
Well, the technology wasn't there, but also the culture wasn't there. No. We were into it, but the general public wasn't ready for it.
No,
they weren't receptive to it.
No, they wouldn't have. I think that's why if you look at it, Downey Jr. man, he changed everything. I remember when they casted him, I'm like, what? Because he was falling asleep in people's backyards. He was gone. I mean, he was a stud when he was younger. He was like the hot thing,
Yeah.
and then he ruined his career by the drugs and alcohol and everything, and he just, I think he was just being himself, and I think everybody like fell in love with him, and it just changed everything. Who would have thought that's what happened? And that's what happened.
That's right.
Because Cap and Thor, they did okay. It wasn't great, and then the first Avengers movie, man, that's a fun movie. If it's on, I watch it. I always watch it. It's on. It's one of those movies you just, when Thor and Hulk are fighting in the hangar,
Mhm.
and Hulk trying to pick up Thor's hammer, and then when he throws the car door at him, like just seeing them interact like that, I'm like, oh my god, they did it.
Finally.
They finally.
Mhm.
It was cool seeing the thing shoot off the shield and go like that, but they weren't like together. Seeing that happen, I was like, wow, this is awesome.
Or the when Banner turns into Hulk and just punches that giant
worm,
thing and
yeah.
just like.
I think I'm always angry. It was awesome. It was cool. I mean, it was fun. And the thing about the Civil War too, they used a lot of like those unpopular but popular lame villains.
Plenty of lame villains in this book.
And some of them, as you can see, are pretty expendable.
Well, that goes with the whole like they turned the Thunderbolts into Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Basically.
So well,
Wow.
you have Bullseye, you have Venom,
Taskmaster's cool.
Taskmaster. I mean, you have.
I'm a noob. Jolly
That's
Green Giant.
Radioactive Man.
Wow. Okay.
Lady Deathstrike, Jack-o'-lantern.
That was the second Venom, right? I think.
Yeah, I think
can't
it's the Scorpion Venom.
one, right? Yeah. So
That's who is that?
I don't know who they are, but it was cool because then you have Punisher
Living
involved.
Lizard?
Punisher obviously isn't going to be involved in the movie, but the Punisher's had a very neat involvement in there. Plus, especially with Captain America,
Well, there's also a lot of X-Men in this too. Like,
Yeah, the
I mean,
X-Men are in
they
there.
kind of go. Cable's in it. He's part of Cap's side.
Oh, that's right.
and there's a lot of rumors about the Iron Spider suit.
Yeah.
If it's going to be, I have a feeling that when you first see Spider-Man, he's just like a homemade costume. Not a Tobey Maguire homemade costume, which wouldn't happen. Like a hoodie type of thing. And I think the costume he gets, because if you see in the first trailer when they show his eyes kind of move,
Yeah.
he's wearing. I think Stark gave him that, obviously, because it's obviously.
Very Rorschach-esque.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I think he's wearing a Stark
But-
built, at least mask.
I don't know. I think they're just doing it to kind of. I mean, it could be that way. I always
think
thought they
so.
were just playing on. That's how he emotes. So you can show a character with a mask, acting without just being a plain,
Yeah,
non-response.
but I
Because that's
think-
what the character in the book does.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I mean, you could say, okay, that's just the comic book of it coming out without being like, biff bang boom. See?
Wow. Goliath's Funeral, New Jersey. A little excerpt from the Civil War book. Mad sad, fam.
No, it was good. I remember. I was a little annoyed when they killed him because it's like, come on, like. It was just like, okay, he's an easy death to do, and of course, like the Thor clone did it. I mean, like, so nobody killed anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't like, he was like a thrown character, and then Thor wasn't. It wasn't Thor.
Were they using him before this? Like, I don't remember.
I don't remember him being
Like,
used
was
much.
he just like,
Nah.
okay, we're just gonna put him for
That's
this?
what I'm saying.
Like,
He was just in there to
yeah.
get killed, which is stupid. I would rather have it. Obviously, they ended up killing Cap, afterwards. But I was kind of not hoping. That was my problem with World War Hulk. He came down from Planet Hulk, madder than he's ever been and stronger than ever been, and nobody died. Somebody should have accidentally died. You know what I mean? Not that he wanted to kill him, but you know what I mean? He was so angry.
Somebody had to die.
You know what I mean?
well,
He's
you
that
destroyed
angry.
New York, right?
Yeah, well,
It gets destroyed every week.
No, but I remember waiting, like, I don't know how many months it was between issue 6 and 7. 7 was the last issue, of course, and people didn't like it when it ended because of the way they just kind of stopped.
Well, again, it's like Marvel week at the end. I mean, it builds
But-
up huge, and then
I didn't have a problem with it because it was kind of like a setup for other things, so I wasn't like, oh my god, this is how it ended, but how else would it have ended? What do you think would be a good ending for it?
One of them had to die.
Yeah, but they're not gonna.
Of course,
kill
everybody
each other.
comes back anyway. That's,
But I just said Cap isn't gonna kill Iron Man, and Iron Man wouldn't kill Cap.
well,
no,
you
no, I
can,
didn't say that. I just, like, did they just wind up having an actual, war? And one
But
of
if
them
that
ends up
did
dying.
happen, it'd be the same way it started. You know what I mean? Like with the speedball thing.
Oh yeah,
So,
did you do with so much damage? It'd be an event itself, and they'd wind up all getting arrested.
and if you
by
guys,
Uncle Sam.
again, spoilers to start the war off, they're going after these lame duck villains, but they're actually pretty powerful villains, and Nitro's in there.
Yep.
And he kind of like sends off his like
He just
sonic
explodes.
boom, whatever the heck
No,
he
he
does.
explodes.
He
Literally
explodes.
explodes.
And it, like I said, it took off. But the follow up to it was a Submariner series, which was really, really good, where they put Nitro in prison in Atlantis, which is really cool.
He's in this too. That's why like there's a lot of
they're all in it.
Namor
It evolved everybody. You know, this is before like reboots and Marvel Nows and rebirths and new and old 52s. This is like legit, you know, old school Marvel universe.
It'd be cool if was in it, Cloak and Dagger, but
I saw some. I was just about to mention it before.
Yeah.
I saw some costumes that really looked like Cloak and Dagger.
yeah, they're on Cap's side.
Yeah.
Because they use them to like.
They're getting their own
teleport
show.
around. Are they?
I forget what channel, but they're getting a show.
That'll be interesting.
I don't think I'm going to sit down for podcasts anymore. I can't stop yawning.
That's it, huh?
My body.
Corey Brown's blacking out with the
I'm
chair.
sitting down. I stand up all day, so I finally sit down, and my body's like, "Hey."
Yeah, it's time for bed, man.
You know, so yeah, it's one of my favorite. Is it the best story? No, but it's one of my all-time favorite stories because it's kind of like Batman Hush.
Classic. It's probably my favorite Batman.
It's my favorite. Is it the best? No, but it has everybody in it, so that's why I like it. It's like if somebody just wants, hey, I want to get into Batman, you give it to him because it's like literally has every villain everywhere. Civil War has basically every character, you know, in it. And it, you know, what's nice about it too. There's no Deadpools. There's no Spider Gwens. There's no
Deadpool.
I mean, there's nothing like that. It's very just
straightforward.
You know, these are the characters and they fight. It's not gimmicky.
You know what? It may not be, but it comes off that it's quick. Like from number 1 to number 7, probably not the release, you know, as you said, but
it happens in a couple weeks.
It's quick. Like, okay, this is what happened.
If this came out now, this would have been at least 12 issues.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, it would have number 0, and they would have had 12 issues.
Why do you say that? Just stretched out for a whole year, you mean?
They'd have they would have 2 or 3 issues just fighting.
Well, yeah, they would have been running around more because it's pretty much they get away. There's the first trap where Goliath gets killed, and then it's like the second trap.
Yeah, and then they find him really quickly, you know, with the spy. Like, they're like, oh, you're right here. And they're all together, you know, so they're like, hey. So I think, you know, nowadays it would have been, and I mean, at the time, 7 issues was obviously a big deal, but I think it would have been a lot longer, you know, personally.
Gotcha. Dr. Johnny, so... What side would you take if you were a hero in the? I would like to think that everybody takes Cap's side, but some people are different. What do you say? Let's say you're specifically the Hulk in this whole entire thing. So you've caused, I'm sure you've caused damage in the comic book too. Let's say you've caused so much stuff. You have countless news organizations talking about how you're a menace and you've created so much damage. And how are you going to atone for your actions? Should you be, So what is your position? Do you want to reveal yourself and endanger your family by revealing your identity, or are you going to continue to be a fugitive?
I would probably go down with Cap's side, and that's probably the reason why, is because no matter what, you are affecting everybody else in your family and your friends and stuff, and a villain's not going to care. They're like, if I can get to you through this person or whatever, and they don't have any choice. They didn't know you were a superhero or whatever, and then they're going to be killed or hurt or whatever. It's not worth that, you know. So I think it's probably best not to, you know, go on TV and reveal who you are.
What do you say, Corey?
Cap all the way.
Cap all the way.
I'm very... Right? I mean, people think it's cool that I post pictures of my kids on Facebook, which I do, but it's always like in a goofy situation. I'm very private. I'm a very private person. Like, I don't tell people what I'm doing, whatever. If I am at a place, it's after I already leave when I do post where I was. But people are like, oh, your kids look great, and they do, but they don't know anything about my kids. You know what I mean? So I'm very private in that aspect. And I would never reveal. I don't give out my phone number to people. Like a lot of people, you know, I can count on people have my number. You know what I mean? I just don't. I don't do that. I like to just kind of disappear. So I would definitely be with Cal. I would never ever be like, oh no, we need to tell the world who I am. You know, I could never really handle being famous, let alone like on a superhero, because it would bother me. It would bother me that like I'm people taking pictures of me walking home, like that would bother me. That has nothing to do with this. You know what I mean? Like I would be 100% Cap all the way.
I'm trying to think of a superhero and why they would want to register. Like, so let's say someone like harmless. Let's say someone like She-Hulk, for instance, she's not like a major character who's caused tons of damage to people's homes and stuff like that. So she's not on the radar. No one's gunning for her, right? Now, say the U.S. government says, "Hey, She-Hulk, if you register, with us, we'll give you health care and all of these benefits, and all these perks, and you can make this superhero thing that you were doing vigilante-ish kind of like a job now. Even though you're not going to get paid, you will get health care." Like, is that enough to lure a superhero?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think so. Mm-hmm. Because along with it's going to come fame. I always joke, like, the more famous you are and the more money you have, you spend less money. Like, if you go out to eat, you're never going to pay.
Yeah.
Because they're going to say, "Oh, don't worry, it's on us," because they want to show, "Oh, he's eating here."
Yeah.
So, obviously you're going to leave a good tip, but technically you don't have to pay for food anymore. If you want to go to any event, you're invited, or you're paid to go.
Or when the guy who's running knows you and sees you at the door says, "Come on in, bro."
Yeah, exactly, because it's cool to have you in there.
Yeah.
And if you're a superhero, obviously there's Comic-Cons. You're always going to be adored, and you're going to make money there. TV appearances, especially now. Look at the athletes. Look at a basketball player. Okay.
Yeah.
They make $20 million a year playing ball, but they make $200 million a year from Nike. You know what I mean? So that's where all the money is. It's all in their brand.
Yeah.
And that's where all the So look at it like that. They don't. It's the job isn't there. It's what comes with it. So you could technically do that and never get paid, and you'd be plenty rich.
Yeah, Wolverine does one Old Spice commercial. That's a wrap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I look at it like that. It's one of those things where and you're also super famous. I mean, like you're everywhere, and people they're invincible. Well, they think they are. Look at all these rock stars, all they just drop dead. They're not taking care of themselves.
That's right.
So obviously, they know that the other guy just dropped dead too, and he's doing the same thing. And then they still do it.
They still do it.
It's something about the taste of being famous. People kill to be famous. People kill famous people to be famous.
That's right.
And that's all they want. So I could see that easily.
But also with that, I mean, there's a lot of them. I mean, they want, like, the whole thing was because they were kids that end up causing the thing because they weren't trained and everything like that.
Yeah. And
I think, people do. Like, they don't want just people running around, like, it's like having a gun, license, not knowing how to use, you know what I mean? Like, having a gun, you don't know how to use it, whatever, without the responsibility. You don't give, like, a, 10-year-old a gun, and in a way it makes sense. I mean, even driving a car, let's say.
Yeah, you don't give, trust me, I see my daughter drive a Power Wheels, trust me, and she thinks it's funny that she's going to go for the tree because I'm going to run after her and chase her, because she just lets go of the wheel like it's a ride. So obviously she's going to drive the car differently than if I would,
Wow.
Well, not that there's actually some adults still drive like that, but I mean, you got, that's why there's drinking age, that's why there's a smoking age, that's why there's driver's license, that's why there's rated R movies.
That's right.
Because people don't know how to handle certain things. So if you're 10 years old and you're a Superboy, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
Because obviously, what's a 10-year-old kid gonna do? Stupid stuff. Hey, let's see how far I can throw this car. There's somebody in it. Who cares? I'm gonna throw it.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Know what you mean?
And they won't think about what the effects is. Say you're a superhuman, okay, and you're young, and you're like, you know what? See that boat that's like 800 yards? I want to cause a huge wind effect by whether it's your arms or your breath, and I'm gonna push the boat. But he's not gonna think about the tidal wave I just made. That's going to appear like 5 miles away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that. He's just going to fly away. See the boat? See the people on the boat? It scared the crap out of them. And next thing you know, there's a little village around the corner that just got flooded. You know what I mean? Like, they don't look at it like that. You know what I mean? That's the problem with stuff. And even adults do it. You know what I mean? But I'm saying, like, that's why they have to be accountable.
Yeah, certainly.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I stopped him. Yeah, but you also took down the entire city. Incredibles. And you ever seen the movie Incredibles?
Yeah.
Same exact thing.
Certainly.
They kind of register them, and they actually outlawed them, basically, but, they put them in, like, witness protection program type thing. Makes sense.
Sure does.
Because they were wrecking the city, and they just walked away from it.
Someone's got to pay.
What was that book? Damage Control?
Damage Control,
Yeah, they would come in and fix everything.
But what happens when you ask the question, what if the Avengers didn't come and save them from the giant aliens or whatever villain.
Oh, no, listen, that's always going to be there.
That's
Instead
the
of
argument.
having
Instead
of having a damaged city, you're all dead, and there is no.
No,
we're not even talking
I didn't say I wasn't.
No, it's just.
But that's
just,
always the argument. You know what I mean? That's like, but if why did you do this? You know what I mean? If you just like you burnt down the house or you did something like that, but if I wasn't here, this would have happened.
Yeah,
but that didn't happen, so they're gonna focus on whatever did happen.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I can't wait to see how. And I didn't even think that too much about it. I think it's all on Winter Soldier because he has got a lot of they wanted to pay for it. He killed a lot of people and a lot of their own people because he was basically a weapon.
Yeah.
And
Bucky. So you're saying he could be Captain America?
Yeah.
Imagine.
Just like in the thing.
Oh my God.
But think about all these things you see in the news now. Some German soldier or whatever back in World War II he's like 98 years old and they're getting him on like 8,000 deaths from these like they're holding them accountable because you know what I mean, like whether they turned their head away from it or they didn't stop it or they actually led them into the thing. So you think about how they are with that, how they would be if this happened.
Oh, this would be crazy if this
exactly
happened.
That's what I mean. So you got to look at it in that those terms, like everybody's accountable. Whether you did something and sometimes more importantly you did nothing, you're still accountable. But you destroy a city, you just can't be like, oh, I fixed it. No, it doesn't work that way.
Yep.
Destroyed a helicarrier or two.
Yeah. So Civil War, I'm all for it. Read the book.
That's it.
Read it.
Do you think that Captain America: Civil War, the movie, will be like as deep as the comic book is? Or no.
I don't think it can be. If it was a TV show maybe, but a movie I think it's gonna be very very quick. Obviously you're gonna fight. Now whether the fight spills over into other movies, I'm not sure. I don't know if there's gonna be a definite end of the movie.
Yeah.
But what's the one after this? Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange is the next one.
He's not in this, so right?
No.
No, he's in the book.
I was like,
well,
yes.
He's another one of those ones that he's not. He leaves somewhere secret to meditate.
Because you can't have these.
AKA the toilet. Yeah.
Because you have to. Because they would just like the snap of a finger fix it. I mean, like they have to make it like well, this guy. That's why the problem with Superman. Like Superman, he could just pick up Gotham and just throw it off the planet. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like Joker wouldn't exist. That's why I have a problem with. I have no problem with Batman fighting all these crazies. But as soon as Superman flies in, it's like, okay, it should be over. Because he's like, Joker, you've killed how many people? It just...
Peace.
I'm sorry. There's a limit. Like, put him in a jail in space or something like that. You wouldn't just put him in Arkham. Here, you lock him up. It wouldn't happen.
That never happens, right?
No.
And just like Dr. Manhattan never takes care of Ozymandias.
No.
As well, yeah. Why is that?
I don't know.
Most powerful people in the world, too chicken to use their stuff, huh?
No, well, he's like past his...
Yeah, he's like,
yeah, so he's kind of like,
I'm not even governing these people anymore. They're below me. Don't
but I mean,
care.
that's my problem with Superman, like sitting next to Batman. I'm like, it doesn't work any sense.
He doesn't want to step on Batman's toes. Joker's his problem. He's not going to.
Wow.
Yeah, but, I mean,
well, Batman will. He would probably get pissed off at him, say, "Well, Joker's my problem," and then he'll like.
Oh, he would. It wouldn't be. He'd have to make another Joker for himself.
Well, pretty much the whole Justice thing is that, like,
Yeah.
Joker ends up having like rigging it so he ends up killing Lois, and so which kills Joker, and then it just falls apart from there. He becomes like a fascist and takes over the earth. So.
Injustice, right?
In Injustice.
That was a great story.
Yeah. It's still going on. It sells well.
Really?
This is
That
year
was
5.
the video game. Oh my god.
But
They really went overboard.
Well, I don't think they got up to the point. Like, they're not to the point where the video game is, because that's when the Earth, wherever our superheroes are from, they go to that Earth.
Oh.
It's like an Earth whatever, where that happened. So that's why you can fight the same people and everything like that. But yeah, it's kind of like it's interesting because you kind of find out what happens to, like, why this person wasn't in it and why all like the gods or where Mr. Mxyzptlk was, where like the Spectre, like all this weird stuff, and you're like, well, they could just kill, because even though Superman's super strong, there are other magical people, whatever, could just kick his ass.
Sure.
But they were taken out and stuff. It's interesting, but
That is.
So I'm interested.
No, I never read more into that. I played the game. I think I read year 1 and year 2, and I always liked that intro story where Joker has, or Scarecrow helped him with some fear toxin that has kryptonite in it, and then Lois looks like Doomsday to him, and he takes her up into the sky where there's no oxygen, and then as soon as he gets some clarity, he sees that it's not Doomsday. He's like, "Oh, you're kidding me!" And he flips out, and that was the end of it.
No, that's why you need. Not everything's for everybody. That's why I hate when people say like, "Oh, I want my kid to read this." I'm like, well, that's not for you, kid. There's other stories over here.
Yeah.
Like, you don't give your kid Injustice.
No.
Give him Justice League. My kid likes that character. Well, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You got to pick. There's different things.
That's what I'm saying.
There's movies for my dad. There's movies for me. There's movies for my daughter. That's why I hate where everybody's like, well, it should be for everybody. No, it shouldn't. There's not everything's for everybody.
That's right.
You know?
There's no comic code anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no, there's no need.
I don't
for
like
it.
baseball because this happens. And don't watch baseball. Watch hockey. It's a whole difference. It's a different thing.
They don't make cross for kids,
No, they don't. They do. It's called Walking Dead.
Wow.
That'd be awesome if it was Scotty Young drawing it.
Oh my god.
That would sell. That would sell. So, when are you seeing Civil War?
The Thursday night.
Thursday night, Johnny?
I think Friday night.
Well, I'll probably see it the week after, but
It's probably gonna be another 2.5 hour job, right? You would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it needs it. Like you said, there's so much it could be a TV show.
yeah, they could easily make it a TV show. But I mean,
What is the next thing though? Now I'm interested. Like I know Doctor Strange, but what is the next? Is it Thor?
there's Thor Ragnarok. There's
I think that's the next one. Guardians of the Galaxy, but that's not really part of that same.
well, when is Spider-Man? Isn't Spider-Man the year after too? I don't remember. I can't
Well, they
remember
didn't start
anymore.
doing. They just they're still.
No, but they're
Yeah,
all
just
set.
announced that.
Yeah,
They're all
they're
set.
almost for that. What is that next one?
I don't know.
'Cause I mean, definitely, Doctor Strange. I'm up for.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be awesome. And I'm glad they're bringing magic.
Yeah.
I know, like you said, it could be difficult, and it could be, but it's like the whole like Thor things. Well, they're aliens and stuff, and I understand like.
Okay, you got Doctor Strange in November,
Mhm.
and then next year you have Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is the free comic book day, the May.
Okay.
release. And then you have Spider-Man in July, and then Thor is in November.
Oh wow.
And then in February of 2018 you got Black Panther,
Ms. Marvel.
and then you have Avengers: Infinity War in May,
Wow.
and then Ant-Man and Wasp in July,
Nice.
then Captain Marvel is 2019 of March. So, and then May is Infinity War Part 2. And then it goes into the.
Well, I
other
forgot
stuff.
that it's split.
Yeah, it's two-parter, which it's gonna be pretty massive. And with everything, I think that's where you're gonna see a few deaths, a new team type of thing. You're gonna see a whole new thing, kind of like a Age of Ultron at the end with the new Avengers is standing there. So.
Which class to be there though? I'm thinking the Guardians.
Oh, I think that's when they're gonna come
Yeah.
in, because why is Guardians 2 coming out before these?
Yeah.
I think they're gonna show that they kind of exist together. And if you remember too, when the new Guardians series first came out, Iron Man's in it.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna show. That's when you're gonna finally see they're gonna come back to Earth or something like that. You're gonna see.
Well,
their,
also they did the stone was in that too, so that
True.
goes with the whole
yeah,
thing.
they're gonna come back together, and then I think that's when you're really gonna see Thanos. Thanos is kind of like the Emperor. He's kind of like around, and then the last one, he's just like, okay, I'm gonna do it myself.
It'd be awesome if they put like the TV people though. Like they don't have to be big roles, but there, you have your Daredevil,
Oh, I
your
think they're
Punisher,
doing that.
just there. You know what I mean? Like
And I think by then too, I think you're gonna have all those other characters established. Like I think whether it's Moon Knight or the Defender's obviously gonna be out. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, they gotta get Luke Cage in there. He's pretty crucial in a lot of the stories they've been telling in comics for like the past.
Oh yeah, especially the
15
connection with the
years.
Avengers alone.
Yeah.
see the only thing they're putting all these characters giving their own show, but there's so much there are so many characters, but they build off each other. It's like these are Daredevil characters and villains. These are Avenger characters. But when you give each one, there's just you're splintering off each thing. Where you start where you're not going to take from you're losing. Where you can keep a show on for a while, you're going to water it down so it's not going to go as long.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Supergirl. I know it's not a thing. It had some ups and downs, but it was fun. But the problem is people are like, oh, this is great, but every villain and storyline they're taking from Superman. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like the Black Dahlia one, and the villains, like, she doesn't have any, you know what I mean? So they use the Superman stuff, but that's all his stuff they're mining from, you know what I mean? So if they want to do something with Superman,
It's already been done, yeah.
it's been done, you know what I mean? Like that one is for the man who has everything, that is one of the classic Superman stories that, people like, this is it. And, it's kind of like, well, it's been used.
No, I know.
Sorry.
So, that's fine.
Aww.
Yeah, Johnny just knocked over a bunch of toys.
This one.
Good job.
Just one casualty. Who was it?
Joker.
Nice.
See?
From the end game.
Just talking about Superman killing him. There you go.
He
Done.
deserves it.
But he has his face back.
So Civil War, pick it up. I definitely recommend reading the story before the movie.
Come read it at Zapp Comics.
There you go.
You don't have to buy it. You just read it on the table.
No,
you
no,
put it back,
no.
and then you leave real quick. Don't do that.
Well, you're a pretty fast reader then. No, but check it out. I think it's gonna. I'm glad it's getting a movie, and the fact that Spider-Man's in it is to me the key. So, all right, guys, thanks for joining us. Zapp Comics Radio Podcast, right?
Nice job.
Cool. We're of course sponsored and funded and run by Zapp Comics, but we're powered by Audio Boom, of course.
Excellent. Okay, good pairing.
Yeah. See, and then I'm not sure what the next one's gonna be. We'll figure something out. So, I'm trying to do one a month again, but I want to get this one in before Free Comic Day.
Excellent.
So, which is May 7th.
Anything going on here for Free Comic Book Day? Or?
Yeah, man, we got a huge
Free
sale, a huge one day sale.
You gonna have some free comics? You think?
We got plenty of free comics. We got all our back issues, the bin back issues. They're all half price. Our trades and hardcovers are half price. So Civil War would be half price. There you go.
Question about Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah.
To someone who doesn't know comic books and they hear the term Free Comic Book Day and they go into, say they're going food shopping and they see Zapp Comics, do you get a lot of folks come in here and say, it's Free Comic Book Day so I can take out any free comic book I want, like in the whole store?
A lot of people either say, are they all free, meaning can I take one of them? Or, like, what does it, they just say, what does that mean? Like they think that you just go pick one off the new wall. They don't understand how it means. And we're like, no. The publishers put out certain books, and we try to emphasize that they're not free for us. We pay for them.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of money on Free Comic Book Day. It's not the regular price, but it does add up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got people like walking out with a stack of 80 books. It costs us money. That's why we always say, yes, it's free, but it's not free for us, or not just us in general, but comic book stores. So buy something.
That's right.
I'm not saying buy a statue, but buy a new book for $4. Don't just walk in.
Buy a Bob's Burgers trade.
There you go.
Yeah.
Don't just walk in and to any store and wherever you are in Free Comic Book Day and take every single free comic book and just walk out. Like,
people do that?
Oh, they all do that.
Do you take pictures of them? And put
No.
them in?
I mean, listen, you have every right to do that. But I'm just saying, like, if you want to really support the industry and the event in the store, just buy something. I'm not saying buy. I said, like a new issue. Get a $3 new issue. Buy something. Buy a T-shirt for $10. I'm not saying it's a value there, but buy something.
I feel like people who do come out for Free Comic Book Day, they'll probably or at least have an agenda to buy a couple.
No,
of things.
they do. But you get those other people that just it says free. What's free for me? And I told the story before. I'll tell it again. Well, I worked at Toys R Us for many, many years, and I never knew what Black Friday was until I worked there. And they're like, okay. I was a young kid. I was like 16, 17 years old. I was there. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning. I didn't know this stuff happened. They said, okay, stand in the front through the vestibule when they come in the door. And we're giving away a free roll of roll wrap, Christmas wrap. I'm standing there, and it's all a variety of colors. And people are just running in. And as they're going by, I'm just giving them, this is free, this is free, this is free. And then right in the middle of it, somebody's like, oh, what is this? I'm like, oh, cool. What other colors do you have? And they start looking through the box while there's people trying to get around them to run down to get the PlayStation 1, whatever was on sale. No, this is back in 1994, so there was no PlayStation 1. So whatever was there.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like to get whatever cheap.
It's like a Jazz Neo Geo
I'm like, dude,
PlayStation.
it's free. And they're going to go, oh, do you have any other colors? I'm like, I have a box, and I'm like trying to empty this box to open up the next box. I have like 50 boxes behind me just to hand it out.
You're like, just say thank you and move on.
If you're at the register on a regular day and they say, oh, just so you know, with this purchase, you get one of these 3 items for free. Which one would you like? Then pick it. When there's a stampede of people running in and you're going to stop and say, oh, do you have another color? I don't really like gold. Come on. You have one that has red on it. You know, it's people. Society. It's people.
To,
You know, it's how it is. So yes, you do get people that says, "Oh, it says free. What's free?" You know, they always have something to say like, "Oh, well, can I use store credit?" I'm like, no. It's very simple. No store credit, no stamp cards, you know, whatever. Oh, okay. Well, can you do any better on this price? I'm like, dude, it's half price. Or
like it's a comic.
Are the toys on sale? No. Why not? Because it's free comic book day. I mean, we do a sale just to have a sale. We don't have to have anything on sale. But somebody always complains about something, and that's just how it is. So when they see free, people don't know how to act.
But at Zapp Comics, things are truly free.
Yeah, we have free comic books.
Free comic books.
You know? So,
You
wait and see all the free stuff we're going to give away at Zapp Comic Con.
Whoa. Zapp Comic Con, free stuff.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. So, Johnny will be there. Joe will be there, obviously.
Nice.
You guys will both be here for free comic day as well.
Okay, cool.
Johnny's the afternoon shift.
Wow.
You'll be here.
Shift, yeah.
Cool.
Be good. So, there'll be a lot of other guys. So,
There's going to be free comics here that day, you think? Just say it again. Reiterate it again.
yeah, you never know.
There might be a free comic at Zapp Comics.
It's always the first Saturday in May. This year it seems late because May 1st is a Sunday. That's why it's the 7th. It's weird because of that.
Very good.
But again, for Dr. Johnny Knoll, Joe Ott, I am Corey.
It's been real.
Yeah.
Slap his hand now, too.
Slap his hand. I'll shake his hand. He's a doctor.
Well, it's a slap shake.
So,
yeah.
You know.
Oh, shake his hand. He's a doctor.
And so we'll see you guys at the shop. Zapp Comics Radio Cast.
Do it again.
Zapp Comics Radio Podcast.
Nice.
Sorry,
You
I'm
did it.
tired.
Night.
So we're never sitting down for another
No,
podcast.
I'm
Never.
done. I'm done.
I'm doing them outside.
It's a lot more comfortable.
It's not, man.
Really?
I've been here since like 5 this morning. It's 10:30 now. I'm like
No, I know.
done.
Because usually it's like I'm not as fidgety.
No,
long as you stand,
I'd
I'm
rather.
more, like, touching
I'm more
stuff
comfortable. Trust me, but I would rather sit down. I mean, I'd rather stand up
Sit.
because I know I'm not going to do this.
So you know what? You need a big thing of caffeine. You need a Coke or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what I need. But anyways, bye guys.
Oh, I thought we were done.
Zapp Comics Radio Podcast. 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 Zapp Comics Radio